All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever tried to learn a new language and just felt totally lost? Like, where do you even begin? Well, today we're going to look at this really cool method that basically tells you to forget the dictionary. Seriously? Let's do this. Okay, so you see this? It looks like total chaos, right? Just a massive wall of text. And if you heard it spoken, it'd just be a blur of sounds. Honestly, this is the point where most people would just say, nope, I'm out. But what if I told you that hidden inside all that chaos is a real story? A simple one, even. And better yet, by the time we're done here, you're gonna understand it. So let's start cracking this puzzle, shall we? You know, every story, no matter how complicated it looks on the surface, is really just made of simple pieces. So our first move is to find those pieces, the main characters and objects hiding in that text. First up, let's meet our hero. This character here is pronounced Li, and it's just a name. That's it. Simple, right? Now we have a person, a focal point for our little story. Next, we've got this one, men. It means door. Now, this isn't just some random object. It's super important for the scene, because it's what's going to tell us where things are happening. It kind of creates a here versus a there. And now, let's set the mood. This character, Yue, means moon. So boom, just like that, we know our story takes place at night. See, we're already starting to paint a picture in our heads. And the last key object for our scene is deng, which is a lamp. So let's recap. We've got our character, Li, and we've got a scene at night with a door, the moon, and a lamp. All our puzzle pieces are on the table. So we've got the things, the nouns, but now we need the words that actually connect them all together. This is where we start building a world out of those pieces. Check this out. This shows you exactly how location works. Remember men, the door? Well, look what happens when you add wide. You get outside. And when you add ne, you get inside. Zai men wai, zai men ne. It's so logical, it's beautiful. And just like that, we can build a whole sentence. You take our person, Li, you give her a location, zai men ne. Shove them together, Li zai men ne. Li is inside the door. You just made a complete sentence. Of course, people have to do stuff in a story. This character is Kan. It means to look, to see, to watch. You get the idea. This is our main action. The people in our story, they're looking at things. And, well, after they look at something, they talk about it. This one is shuo, and it means to say or to speak. So now we've got looking and we've got talking. The plot is about to thicken. Let's put these actions together now. We start with 看月, that's looking at the moon. And the result? 说月大. Literally, it's say moon big. But what it really shows is cause and effect. Looking at the moon, they say it gets bigger. See how the action leads to a reaction? It's pretty cool. And that's actually it. Believe it or not, you have every single tool you need right now. Remember that crazy wall of text from the beginning? Let's take another look. I promise this time it's not going to be chaos. It's going to be a story. Okay, here we go. The night is late. The moon is up. There's Li, inside the door, looking at the moon. They say it gets bigger. Then Li says the lamp is not big. Someone walks inside. Li laughs. You just read that. You understood the whole thing. So in what, just a few minutes, we took a complete 7-line story from what felt like total nonsense to something that makes perfect sense. And we did it all without ever touching a dictionary. Now, I know this might feel a little bit like a magic trick, but it's not magic. It's actually based on some really solid science about how we learn. Let's dig into why this worked so well on your brain. The whole idea is called comprehensible input. And it's pretty simple, actually. It just says that we learn a language best when we focus on understanding the message, not on memorizing a bunch of grammar rules. You were so focused on the story that the language just kind of came with it. And here's the breakdown of why it's so effective. First, repetition. The story kept using the same core words, door, moon, Li, over and over. Then, context. You didn't just learn inside in a vacuum. You learned inside the door. You used simple building blocks to create bigger ideas. And maybe the most important part, you had that aha moment of discovery. Your brain did the connecting. This quote really hits the nail on the head. It's a total shift in how you think about learning. Instead of panicking about knowing all the rules, you just ask yourself, can I figure out what's being said here? It turns a chore into a game. Just think about what we did. There were no vocab lists, no verb charts. We didn't do any of that. You just jumped in and engaged with the material, and through that process, you actually learned something. You achieved a real, tangible thing. So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? This whole method, breaking down something that seems impossible into little, understandable pieces, it doesn't just work for languages. So what other big, scary subject in your life, maybe it's coding or finance or whatever, what could you start to conquer if you just stopped trying to memorize it and started trying to find the story inside?